some better plan than this.
Well, the Lord knows that's the truth. It had to happen sooner or later. And we've had long enough to think about it. I just never expected it to be a child.
That's the music that I heard last night while I was in the yard. My granny said it was Elf.
Elves. Dear me, no. That's just my old music box. I didn't suppose anyone could hear it, but it's very special to me. Angus gave it to me the day we were married. Now look at it.
It's pretty.
Wind it up if you like.
It's pretty.
Oh, look here, Winnie Foster. We're friends. We really are. Well, sit here and we'll tell you why. Ma, do you want to start?
You start, Miles. I still short of breath.
Well, okay. A long time ago, a man and his wife and his two sons,
Age 22 and 17.
ages 22 and 17, were going west to settle. And they stopped one night to find a camping place. And they happened on this spring.
The spring you saw me drink from, Winnie, it looked just like it does now.
Yes. Are you going to tell the story or am I? Anyway, they all took a drink from the spring, even the horse.
But not the cat. That's important, not the cat.
No, not the cat. Wouldn't want to leave that out. Anyway, the man carved a tea in the trunk, tree trunk that is, and then the next day they all went on. Finally, they settled down, built a cottage, and then strange things began to happen.
The youngest boy fell out of a tree, landed plumb on his head. We thought for sure he broke his neck, but come to find out, didn't hurt him a bit.
Not long after that, some hunters came by and mistook the horse for a deer. Can you fancy that? They shot him, but it didn't kill him. The bullet went right through him, didn't hardly leave a mark.
And then the man got snake bit.
And the younger brother ate some poison mushrooms.
And the mother cut herself really bad.
And nothing happened to him. Not any of them.
Them? You mean you. This story's about all of you, isn't it?
Yes, Winnie, but it isn't a story. It's true. We first saw that spring 87 years ago.
87 years.
If that's true, then you'd be.
104 years old.
But it can't be.
That's what we thought too, child. But after 10 years and then 20, we had to face it. Something was terribly wrong. None of us was getting any older.
I was more than 40 by then. Married, I had 2 children. But from the looks of me, I was still 22. My wife made up her mind that I'd sold my soul to the devil. She left me, took the children, and went away.
I'm glad I never got married.
The same thing happened with our friends. They come to pull back from us. There was talk of witchcraft and black magic. We had to leave the farm. We didn't know where to go, so we just started back the way we came, just wandering. When we got this far, things had changed, of course. A lot of the woods were gone, and there was a new village. We went into what was left of the wood to set up camp, and when we got to the clearing, the tree and the spring, we remembered it from before.
It hadn't changed any more than we had. That's how we found out.
You see, Pa carved a T in that tree 20 years before. But the T was just where it had been when he'd done it. Exactly the same. It hadn't changed a whit in all those years. And the T he carved was just as fresh as if he had just carved it.
And that's when we remembered drinking from the spring, all of us, including the horse.
But not the cat.
No, not the cat. But he lived a long, happy life on the farm chasing mice and squirrels. But he died about 10 years before that.
So we decided that the spring was the source of our changelessness.
Never growing older or changing?
No, and my husband, Angus Tuck, he had to make sure. And he took his shotgun, he pointed it at himself, and before we could stop him, he pulled the trigger.
That's why he's not here? How horrible.
No, it's not horrible. It's not horrible at all.
Angus ain't here because he's still sleeping. That shotgun bullet went right through him and never scarcely left a mark. You know, like you shot a bullet through water, it was as if he'd never done it.
What? That's like a miracle.
Or maybe a curse.
It ain't neither. It just is, Winnie. It just is.
Then Pa said, that spring must be left over from another time, from another way of running the world, a way that didn't work out. Another whole time.
We were gonna live forever, but it felt like to find out.
We sat down and talked it over.
And we're still talking it over.
so fun to tell someone.
Just think, Winnie. You're the only person in the whole world besides us who knows about it. Isn't it peculiar? And kind of wonderful. Just think of all the things we've seen and all the things we're gonna see.
That kind of talk's gonna make her want to rush right back and drink a gallon of this stuff. There's a lot more to it than just Tuck's good times, you know.
Oh, stuff. We might as well enjoy it as long as we can't change it, Parson.
Parson? Are you a parson?
Parson? Me? Would you like a kick in the lower rear? Parson, are you kidding? Parsons are peculiar.
Well, you always seem to see the gloomy side of things. So you're gonna have to expect to be called a parson. You gotta remember that, Winnie. You don't want to be called a parson, do you? Don't be a parson all your life. Don't look too far for your cares and strife. Get your head up from down below. Don't be a gloom and doom and preaching so and so. Don't be a parson all your life.
A peculiar type of person is a parson. He's daringly droll and daintily debonair. He seldom seeks to sitting or to larceny, but frequently finds fraud when it's not there. Don't be a parson all your life.
You're nothing come on, obedient. Who always says, oh no, you can't. Though you may sometimes have a tear, don't let the minor keep you major in your ear. Don't be a parson all your life.
For persons put perplexities of progress, low on the list of lovely things to like. They much admire the mundane of modesty, but seldom sail the shores are safe in sight. Don't be a parson all your life.
A countenance that is sad and severe won't prove that God is really that near. Your viewpoint you won't have to fear if you don't look at life from the lower rear. Don't be a parson all your life.
If lately he less than lightly labored, he'll talk until his tongue tends to uncoil. He'll never knock a neighbor. Satanic spirits spitefully he'll spoil.
Don't be a parson all your life. Don't look too far for your cares and strife. Get your head up from down below. Don't be a gloom and doom and preaching so and so. Don't be a parson all your life. Don't just be called an old man out, who always says, oh no, you won't. Don't you be sometimes covet young. Don't let the minor keep me major in your ear. Don't be a parson all your life. A countenance that is sad and severe won't prove that God is really that near. Your viewpoint you won't have to fear if you don't look at life from the lower rear. Don't be a parson all your life. Don't be a parson all your life. Hey, little pro, we got company. Shall we go find our swimsuits?
They're not used to having young ladies around the house.
Where do they go in their way? What do they do?
Oh, they go different places and do different things. Miles, he does carpenting, and he's a pretty fair blacksmith. Jesse now, he doesn't seem to settle into his stuff. Still, he's young. Sounds funny, don't it? Still, it's true. So Jesse does whatever strikes him at the moment, working in the fields or in the saloons. But they don't stay in any one place for very long. None of us can. People get to wondering.
That's too bad. Holy cow, always moving around
Well, Angus and me, we got each other. And that's a lot. Of course, it'd be a lot less if I could slim down some. That's the trouble with the human body. It's got an elastic waistband. Oh well. The boys, they go their separate ways, and they come home whenever the spirit moves them, and every 10 years, the first week in August. They meet up this spring and come home together, so as we can be a family again. That's why we were there this morning.
Where's the child? Boy said you brought home a real honest to goodness natural child.
So we did.
Just no words for me to tell you how happy I am to see you. The finest thing that's happened to me, and does she know?
Of course she does. That's why I brung her back here. Winnie, this is my husband Angus Tuck. Tuck, be Winnie folks.
How do, Winnie? You know, after seeing you know well, I'm going to go on and say, this is the finest thing that's happened to me in 80-something years.
Come on, Winnie, you can go down to the pond with us. Hey, do you want to go in? Maybe Ma's got something you can wear. These are the latest for us. But it's a rotten egg.
Oh dear, back to herself.
Well, somebody once said, you can't learn an old dog new tricks.
Angus, what are we going to do with her, Angus? I probably shouldn't have brought her back here, but after she found out, I didn't know what else to do.
You've done the right thing, babe. It's all right. You know, I don't think she's scared anymore either. But we got to get her back home. Somehow we got to convince her not to tell anybody about that spring. Say, the boy said a man was following you, then he disappeared.
Yeah, we were fearful for a bit, but then he went on his way. She's an awfully sweet child, Angus. And awful young to understand our concerns.
I know. I'm not sure grown folks could.
Took us long enough, didn't it?
Yep, how young we were.
We're still the same age.
Darn if you ain't right. 87 years later, and we're still the same. That spring sure messed up my plans.
Mine too.
How so?
Well, remember when we first met?
Yep, your mother thought I was too old for you. Then we got married.
And the boys come along?
Yeah, life was hard at times, but at least we were together, you know?
And I used to imagine what life would be like, growing older, always together, till it was time to move on.
Well, if I have to live forever, I'm sure glad it's you I got forever to live with.
Oh, that's an awfully sweet thing to say, Angus Tuck. I suppose we shouldn't be grousing about our situation, but I'd like to grow old with you, sharing warm days and cold with you, being loving and holding you. I'd like to grow old with you, growing older, be right with you, through the years, day and night with you, facing darkness and light with you. I'd like to grow old with you, growing older, be rather grand, living out life's simple plan. Mortal woman,
I'm mortal man.
I'd like to grow old with you. Love starts when you're young. With time it will grow. Passion bleeding, caring, needing till that someone you know becomes a better part of you than anyone can see. That's all I ask of life, my love. Please grow old with me.
I'd like to grow old with you, sharing warm days and cold with you, being loving and holding you. I'd like to grow old with you, like to mature with you. To life's final door we two, living 10 and 3 score would do, if not a few more with you. I'd like to grow old with you. I want to grow old with you.
What are you going to say to her, Angus? It's an awfully hard thing to understand.
I know, May, but we gotta get her to see.
You will. I know you will. Somehow. And then, someday, somehow, we'll figure out a way to get out of this pickle. Right?
Right. That's all I ask of life, my love. Please grow old with me. I'd like to grow old with you, sharing warm days and cold with you, being loving and holding you. I'd like to grow old with you. I'd like to mature with you. To life's final door we two, living 10 and 3 score would do, if not a few more with you. I'd like to grow old with you. I want to grow old with you.
And it beats, I'm in love. Holy cow, hear me now, I'm in love. While I was thinking it over, no goal is no plan, I confess. Like a light, turn up bright, I'm in love, I guess.
Holy Pete, this is neat. I'm in love. Without doubt, I can shout, I'm in love. In 83 years, it's not happened. The first time to really begin. What a day, I can say. Love, love, it's plain to see, it's plain to see. With many kinds and kinds, if not degree, the other kind I cannot understand. While my love is so clearly right and grand.
I've heard that music before. As a child has I made a search. Somewhere in this life I'm sure I've heard that music before.
I've heard that music before. As a young man, I begged her, remember. I asked in the June of my life, hers the late days of December. But somehow the mind's mirror clear, and she sang that tune clean and pure. Then smiled, said goodbye, and was gone. Yes, I've heard that music before.
On the play by that gypsy Venice, sung by some small gondolier. Did it come from the strings of our wrist? Oh, the kisses straight to my ear.
I've never been sure of its meaning, though it makes my
It was then, not again, not in love. My one try, it's gone by, being in love. Maybe someday I'll discover with someone to love as before. If I do, could I too fall in love once more? Could it be you and me still in love? Through the days, now always, we're in love. Though it may be far from perfect, yet it is the one you've been planned. It works great when you're mates and in love, woman, man. The world is full of love, it's plain to see, it's plain to see. With many kinds and kinds, if not degree. The other kinds I cannot understand. While love is so clearly right and grand. Look at me, can it be I'm in love? Only now, hear me now, I'm in love. While I was thinking it over, no goal and no plan, yes that's true. Like a light, turns out bright, I'm in love with you.
We've got to get you home again, Winnie. We've got to get you home fast. But first, we've got to talk. And the pond's the best place. The pond has answers. Come along, child. Let's get out on the water. You know, this is the best time of all for fishing, when they come up for feeding. You know what that is all around us, Winnie? It's life. Live. Moving, changing, growing. Never the same 2 minutes together.
It's nice, isn't it, Mr. Tuck?
Yep. You know, you look out at that water every morning and it looks the same, but it ain't. All night long it's been moving. Comes in that stream up over there and goes slipping out that stream over there. Always quiet, always new, always moving. But someday, after a long while, it reaches the ocean. You know what happens then to the water? Well, the sun sucks some of it up. It's carried in the clouds, goes over there and it rains. The rain goes back into the stream. The stream keeps it moving down, and it comes right back again. It's a wheel, Winnie. Everything's a wheel. Turning and never stopping. The frogs is part of it, the bugs and the fish and the wood thrush too. And people too. They're never the same ones. Always coming in new, moving, changing, growing. That's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way it is. Right down to the ocean. Now this rowboat here, it's stuck. And if we don't move it ourselves, it'll try forever to get loose, but it's going to be stuck. And that's what we tucks are, you see. We're stuck. We're not moving on. We ain't on that wheel no more. We dropped off. Winnie, we've been left behind. That's where we are, left behind. Just like rocks by the side of the road. Well, all around us things are growing and changing and moving. Well, you, for instance. I mean, you're a child now, but someday you'll be a woman. And after that, well, you move on and make room for new children.
But I don't want to die.
Oh, no, child, now's not your time. See, but dying's on the wheel right next to getting born. When you can't pick out the pieces you like and leave behind the rest. See, being part of the whole thing is a blessing. But it's passing us by, us ducks. And living's hard work. When you're by the side like we are, it's kind of useless, too. Into each life, some rain must fall. Even the clown sheds a tear. Don't keep your eye on how empty the glass, rather how full it appears. And every night the moon won't shine, brightens the firefly's glow. Often there's good comes out of bad times. I'm hoping in my life it's so. But if life is a wheel and we fall in love and left by the side of the road, with nowhere to go and no way to grow, we can't even carry our share of the load. If life is a wheel with turning and change, a beginning, a middle, and end, then I want back on that merry-go-round so that my life has meaning again. You know, it doesn't make any sense, Woody. I know how to get back on that wheel. I do it in a minute. You know, you can't really have living without dying. You can't call it living what we have. We just are. We just be like rocks by the side of the road. I want to grow again, Woody, and change. If that means I got to move on to the end, then I want to do that too. Listen, Woody, you see, this is something you don't know how you feel about until afterward.
But if people knew about that spring back there in Tree Gap, they'd trample each other trying to get some of the water.
Oh, that'd be bad enough. But afterward, can you imagine afterward? The little ones little forever? Old ones old forever? Can you picture that forever? The stream would keep on going and the wheel keep on turning, but the people, they'd be like rocks by the side of the road. And they wouldn't even know about it until afterwards, when it'd be too late. Do you see? Do you understand? Oh Lord, I gotta make you understand. If life is a wheel and we fall in love and left by the side of the road, with nowhere to go and no way to grow, we can't even carry our share of the load. If life is a wheel with turning and change, a beginning, a middle, an end, then I want back on that merry-go-round so that my life has meaning again.
Pa! The horse is gone! Can you hear me? Someone stole the horse!
We had that horse for over a century.
Of course, the thief didn't realize he was that old.
Sure hope they don't run them to death.
Hey!
Shouldn't you tell the authorities?
They tend to ask too many questions.
Questions that are awfully hard to answer. Can you imagine what it would be like explaining to some sheriff and answering questions about someone stealing your 100-year-old horse? Dear officer, could you lend an ear? Got a problem here, of course. Someone you see took a property, a 103-year-old horse.
I'm sorry, lad, but the drink I had makes my hearing bad, you see. But this old head understood you said that the horse was 33. Now nobody, nowhere has a horse that lived that long. So between my ear and the 9-point beer, I fear I'm hearing wrong. Try it again.
Money sheriff, hey sheriff, they stole my beer, dear darling. She's 5'3" and should be free of larceny and robbing.
My ear gets worse in the second verse. I heard you tersely say, your filly, she sounds so silly. She was 53 this day. Now nobody nowhere has a horse that lives that long. So between my ear and the 9-point beer, I fear I'm hearing wrong. So try it again. I'm sure you want the law to do what's good and fair on me, but I just can't hear your complaint, 'cause you exaggerate.
Dear deputy, would you try to see what they stole from me, my friend? I would, plus, but she's a century plus. That loss I must lament.
I've tried, dear man, to understand, but no one you can agree. Would ever own such an ancient throne, keep me born at 63?
Now nobody nowhere
Has a horse that lives that long. So between my ear and the 9-point beer, I fear I'm hearing wrong. I'm sure you want the law to do what's good and fair, old mate, but I just can't hear your complaint, 'cause you exaggerate.
It would be fine if your reply were 5 or 10 or so.
and throw in jail on that horse's tail. That's all, they just don't grow.
Now nobody nowhere has a horse that lives that long. So between my ear and the 9-point beer, I fear I'm hearing wrong. Don't try again.
Well, that beats all, don't it, Pa? Someone coming up to your house and stealing your horse right out from under your nose.
I gotta give you that, but I got a question. Is that just an ordinary horse thief? Or is that someone that had some special reasons? I don't like it. I'm getting to have a bad feel about this whole thing.
Oh, hush now, Tuck. You're too much of a worrier. There's nothing we can do about it tonight, so there's no sense fussing about it. Come on, we'll get a good night's sleep and figure it out in the morning when we're all fresh. Off you go, boys, and don't keep talking. You keep us all awake. You bed down too, Winnie. You'll sleep first rate on this sofa here, even though it is a bit lumpy.
Ma, every bed in this house is lumpy. That's part of the charm of the place, Winnie.
Well, you rest easy, child.
I'm all right, thank you.
I'm sorry about everything. I just didn't know no other way to bring it back here with us. I know it ain't very happy for you here. Have a good talk with Angus?
I guess so.
That's good. Well, I'm off to bed too. You have a good night's sleep and hope those lumps don't bother you too much.
It's all right. I'll just snuggle around any lumps.
I like it when you laugh. We've been alone so long, I guess we don't know how to do with visitors. But still in all, it's a good feeling you being here with us. I wish it was ours. One lives a long, long time and shares life's tears and smiles before we learn what's dear, like laughter of a child, the warmth of beating, the love, the needing, all bear repeating down through the years.
to think, well, maybe I should be sitting out here with you fellas.
You don't have to do that.
Well, if there's anything you need.
Well, there is one thing. At home, before I go to sleep, I almost always get a hug and
Well, if there's anything you need, you know, just give me a holler. I'm right in the next room, and I'll be out here like a shot. A long time, eh, since we had a natural child in this house. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming to our place. Thanks for entering our lives. Thanks for being what you are. A joy, a treat, a love completely new. You bring a warming glow into our lives, and so it means more than ever before. And though time's short, it's sweet. You may find we repeat. Thanks for coming into our lives. Thanks for coming here. Thanks for coming here. Well, you try and get some sleep now. I know that sofa's not quite what you're used to.
it's all right. I've already made friends with the lumps.
Well, I bet it isn't any better. We'd switch with you.
Hey, Winnie, you asleep?
No, not yet.
Well, I've been thinking about it, and Pa's right about having to keep the secret. You know, it's not hard to see why. But the thing is, you've known about it already, and living right next to it so you could go anytime. Well, listen. How'd it be if you was to wait till you were, say, 17? Same age as me. Heck, that's only a few years away. You could drink some water from the spring, and then go away with me. We could get married even. That'd be pretty good, wouldn't it? We could have a grand old time, go all around the world, see everything. Listen, Mom, Pop, Miles, they don't know how to enjoy it, what we've got. Why, heck, life's to enjoy yourself, isn't it? That's what I say, at least. And you and me, we could have a good time that never, ever stopped. Wouldn't that be something? Well, you think about it. Think on it some, and see if it don't sound good. Anyway, I'll see you in the morning, all right?
All right.
Good, you're still awake. Would you like to go fishing with me in the morning? Get some trout for breakfast.
I've never been fishing before. It sounds like fun.
Oh, you'll like it. It is fun. Remember I told you I had 2 children? Well, one of them was a girl. I took her fishing too. Her name was Anna. Oh, how sweet she was, that child. It's queer to think that she'd be close to 80 now. If she's even alive. Anna, Anna, that lovely child. Anna, with sparkling eyes and smile. Anna, dear Anna, where can you be? Anna, Anna, that lovely child. Anna, love flowers, springtime and snow, leaves in the wind and clouds as they blow. Anna, love sunshine and gray misty dawn. Anna, dear Anna, where have you gone? I've missed you, Anna, more each year it seems. I've kissed you, Anna, but only in dreams. I see you, Anna, in my dreams and smile. sparkling eyes and smile. Anna, dear Anna, where can you be? Anna loves kittens, songs with a lilt. Anna loved warm bread and cold frothy milk. Anna most all Anna loved me. Anna, Anna, that lovely child. Anna, with sparkling eyes and smile. Most of all, most of all, most of all, Anna loved me. Anna.
Why didn't you take the children to the spring and give them some water?
Well, of course, we didn't realize about the spring when they were still on the farm. Afterwards, I thought about going to find them, and I wanted to, heaven knows. Winnie, how would it have been if I had? My wife was nearly 40 then, and the children, what was the use? They'd have been nearly grown themselves. They'd have had a pa near to the same age as they was. You know, I'd been all mixed up and peculiar. Just wouldn't work. And then Pa, he was dead set against it anyway. Fewer people know about that spring, he says. If you were to tell about it. Well, we'll go fishing in the morning.
Are there a lot of fish in the pond?
Well, there are, unless those old snapper turtles have eaten them all up. They eat the fish, the frogs, most anything that wiggles.
It'd be good if nothing had to die.
Well, I don't know. If you think about it, you come to see that there'd be so many creatures, including people. We'd all be squeezed in right next to each other before long.
I guess you're right.
And no use thinking of your own pleasure either. People gotta do something useful if they're gonna take up space in the world.
Mouse, why are you so thoughtful and kind? You and Jess, all of you.
Oh, Winnie, I don't think we're that much
Yes,
different.
you are. All of you.
Well, Winnie, you've got to realize we have lots of time. All the time in the world. There's no need to rush it. When you've got time on your hands, you can smile at a night. With time on your hands, you can even tip your hat. With time on your hands and nothing on your mind, you can take the time that you find to be kind. When you've got time on your hands, you can't wait for God to bring. With time on your hands, you can love for love's sake. With time on your hands and none on your mind, you can take the time that you find to be kind.
Now the world may seem to push you and rush you through each day. It's really just impatience that works out that work and play. If you really want to live each life, each moment is a life. Get some time on your hands to be kind.
If you wake up every morning looking at 26 hours of toil, if you never get to sleep at night trying to rush that pot to boil, if you fail to see the sun and stars or flowers never find, time to stop, take some time, be kind.
When you've got time on your hands, you can smile at a gnat. With time on your hands, you can even tip your hat. With time on your hands and not on your mind, you can take the time that you find to be kind.
You can take the time that you find to be kind.
maybe I should say morning, Mrs. Tuck. It is Mrs. Tuck, isn't it? May I come in? You're safe now, Winifred. I've come to take you home.
We're going to bring her back ourselves directly and change bed in no danger.
You're Mr. Tuck, I suppose?
Ma'am.
You might as well sit down. You too, Mrs. Tuck. I have a great deal to say and very little time for saying it.
Who in tarnation?
Hush, boy, let him speak his piece.
That's wise. I was born west of here. My grandmother told me stories, wild, unbelievable stories, but I believed them. This friend of my grandmother lived with her husband for 20 years. And strange to say, he never got any older. She did, but he didn't. And neither did his mother, or his father, or his brother. People wondered. My granny were witches. She left. Then she moved west. But my mother remembered playing with the children. There was a son and a daughter.
You got no call to come and bring us pain.
If you got something to say, get to the point and say it.
Hear me out. As I said, I was fascinated by my grandmother's stories. People who never got old. It was fantastic. It took possession. I went away to school. I studied. Oh, there were ancient legends, but nothing more. I nearly gave up. I came home. My grandmother was quite old, and I brought her a present. A music box. It reminded her of something. The mother of that family that never grew old, she had a music box. My grandmother's friend and her children, Anna, they heard the tune so often they taught it to my grandmother while they lived there. We talked about it all those years afterward, my grandmother and I. She finally remembered the melody. She taught it to me. That was nearly 20 years ago. I kept it in my head. It was a clue. It haunted my dreams for 20 years. But a few months ago, I left home following the route that family was said to have taken when they left the farm. No one had heard of them. No one knew the name. But 2 evenings ago, I heard the music box. I heard that very tune. It came from the Foster's wood. Then I followed Mrs. Tuck, her 2 boys, and Winifred home when they left the wood the next morning. And I overheard the whole story when you told this little lady here. I heard every word.
Sneaked in to listen to something that was none of your business?
What are you gonna do?
The Fosters have given me the wood in exchange for bringing Winifred home. I was the only one who knew where she was. So it's a trade. Yes, I followed you, Mrs. Tuck, and then I took your horse and rode directly back to work out a very nice deal.
Horse thief, get to the point. What are you going to do?
Oh, like all magnificent things, it's really quite simple. The wood and the spring belong to me now, or will as soon as I bring Winifred back. I have a paper here, all signed and legal to prove it. I'm going to sell the water, you see.
You can't do that.
Only to certain people who can afford it. It will be very expensive. But who wouldn't pay a fortune to live forever?
I would.
I can use you to set up demonstrations. You know, the sort of thing that would be fatal to anyone else but won't affect you in the least. I'll pay you, of course.
Freaks? You want us to be freaks?
Oh, you needn't do it. I can find the spring and manage well without you.
You're a madman. A complete lunatic. You can't let no one know about the water.
Don't you know what would happen?
I've given you your chance and you have refused. Now I'll take the child and be off.
Madman.
I won't go with you, I won't!
You leave that child be!
I can't think why you are so upset. Did you think you could keep that water for yourself? How stupid. You could have done what I'm about to do a long time ago. Now it's too late. Once Winifred drinks some of the water, she'll do fine for demonstrations.
Ma, no!
Not Winnie. You ain't gonna do a thing like that to Winnie. And you ain't gonna give away our secret. Hey! Oh, blessed Lord. I didn't know it was loaded.
aren't you? I get you some water, but they're still pretty upset in there. Oh, Toad, what's happened to them? I mean, I know they put Mrs. Tuck in jail, but what about Miles and Jess and Mr. Tuck? Jess!
Winnie,
Jess, we gotta get her out.
I know. Miles has a plan, but I don't see how it can work. Well, he says he can take the window frame right out of the jail wall, bars and all, and then Mom can climb through. They're building new gallows, you know.
Gallows? They can't do that.
I know they can't, but they're gonna try. She didn't mean to kill that guy. She was only trying to protect you. They never would have caught her if she hadn't insisted on bringing him to the doctor either.
Do you think Miles' plan will work?
That sheriff checking on her all the time? He'll come after us as soon as he sees she's gone. Anyway, I came to say goodbye. We won't be able to come back here for a long time. We won't see each other again for ages. Well, here's a bottle of water from the spring. You take it, and when you're 17, no matter where you are or what you're doing, you drink some and come find us. We'll leave directions somehow. Oh, please say you will.
Jess, wait. I can help. After Miles gets the bars off and you climb out, and your mom climbs out, I'll climb in and take her place. Wrap the blankets around me, and when the jailer checks in, he won't be able to tell the difference. Not in the dark. That'll give you enough time to get away. Far away.
It might work, you know.
Tell your father I want to help. I have to help. If it wasn't for me, there'd be no problem in the first place. Tell him I want to help.
Can you get out after dark?
Yes?
Well, then at midnight, Winnie. We'll meet at the jail at midnight.
Winifred, who are you talking to? Oh, it's only, what did you say? Oh, my, you shouldn't be sitting out here alone. Why, it's almost dark.
Granny, were you my age once?
Oh, yes, just once. That's the problem with life. You can only be any age just once.
Did you know Grandpa when he was my age? Don't you wish you didn't have to die? Don't you just wish you could live forever?
My, what a lot of questions. Well, question one. No, I didn't know your grandpa dear. He was nearly twice the age you are now. Question two. Of course, I wish you didn't have to. But as the book tells us, there is a time for all things. Question three. Oh my, that's the hardest question of all. It just seems so natural that anyone would want to, and yet, you know what I've come to realize when I've been years? I never wanted to live forever. I just wanted to live. Riding a horse, side saddle, you see, in bonnet and skirt, just wasn't for me. I'd rather ride straddle high up off the ground and not give a toot if my trousers fell down. I just wanted to live. I prefer drinking my tea from a mug and rather than flowers or romantic hug. People say now you must be refined, trouser and trim all of the time. I use my hanky whenever I sneeze, but meanwhile I do whatever I please, 'cause I just wanted to live. Then when I met your grandpa and love showed its face, we married quite soon, so there'd be no disgrace. We promised to love till death do us part, and we did that without once restricting our hearts. So it lasted and lasted all of those years. Though I try to be prim and refined for my peers, it's living that counts, not forever, my dear. For I've always wanted, come through life adorned, 'cause I just wanted to live. Maybe a few extra years wouldn't be all that bad, would it? Come here, it's time to go in. Oh, the answer to your last question. I'm afraid it's going to need an awful lot of thought by whoever's going to answer it.
I'll be in just a minute. What are Poor thing. You look so thirsty and dry, and I haven't got... Wait, I can give you some of this. Hold still a minute. There. That should help some. Oh no! You didn't need all that water. Oh, now what am I going to do? Oh well, I know where the spring is. I guess I'll just fill it up in a day or two. Winifred! Coming, I'm coming! Hop away, Toad. You take care. Yes, you take care.
You awake?
Sure, I can't sleep on the slab of rock with all that noise anyways.
We're gonna get you out, May. Miles says to get these bars out easy.
It's a cinch. You ready, Ma?
What good'll it do? The jailer checks through every half hour. He was here just a few minutes ago. Even if you did get me out, they'd be back in a few minutes and they'd catch us all. Before we got any distance, then we'd all be behind bars.
That's where I can help. After Miles gets the bars off and you climb out, I'll climb in and take your place. Wrap the blanket around me, and when the jailer checks in, he won't be able to tell the difference.
Oh, you dear child, I don't want to cause you or your family no more grief. You'll catch the dickens when they find out.
It's worth getting the dickens for. Come on, Miles.
They must have made this out of green lumber. These boards are dry and shrunk. At least the window. Give me a hand, Jess.
Now be careful. We gotta get it back in. This thing isn't gonna work.
Give me a boost, Mr. Tuck.
Why, you're sure, Winnie? I feel so guilty leaving you here alone.
I'm sure. I don't think I've ever wanted anything more in my entire life as for you to go free. It's the only way we'll be certain that you'll get away.
She's right, Ma. Besides, there's not much I can do to her, except maybe scold.
That scolding never hurt anybody. Well, I remember when I was just a little tyke, must have been 95 or 100 years ago. He used to scold me some, never hurt me a bit.
Are you sure, Winnie?
I'm sure. You're one of the most beautiful people I've ever known. I love you, Mrs. Tuck.